that's how they're going to tell people. But we need to get that more transparent, put it into the places people read, put it out,
Facebook,
especially, exactly. I mean,
tweet.
let's come into the 21st century and actually use some of the technology we have to let people know. That'll really help, because then not everybody agrees. I'm sure there are actually people who are for it as well as against it, what the Broadmoor's trying to do. But if everyone knows, it's harder to say later on, well, I got screwed.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And the earlier you're involved, the better.
We're involved, but we're not being heard. There's
Right.
people that just, they don't even know about this. You know, and you're a volunteer organization, you have no money, and everybody works and it's all volunteer, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, and I mean, it costs money to print flyers, but we used to, in my neighborhood, we would have flyers and we would walk the neighborhood and put flyers on every door.
People just love that. It works.
Yeah, it did, that's one way of getting the word
I
out.
will put that word out.
Yeah.
Well, just vote no, sir. That's all I'm asking.
On everything?
Just tell the Broadmoor no, they can go ride their horses somewhere else.
Okay, yes, sir.
One of the things which Dave is speaking about has to do with water. There's a large water main that crosses the Broadmoor Golf area now. And there's a pump, there happens to be a booster pump located in that area. And the Broadmoor did not thoroughly think through their proposition to ask abandonment of that Cheyenne Mountain Boulevard at that location. But it turns out there is a major fire emergency egress on Cheyenne Mountain Road. If there is none there, you go to Penrose Boulevard.
Okay.
And it logistically it would not work even if it were accepted. But, you know, we'd have, 27 people become crispy critters up there when there is a wildfire that passes through that area again.
Yeah.
And so that was poor planning on the Broadmoor's part, but the citizens, and I was one, because I'm kind of a water guy, who said, this is unrealistic. So we cannot lose that booster water pump in the golf course. If we do, the zoo's not gonna have any water. I mean, how can you propose something that is so ill-conceived, if you please? And I presume that the city council discovered that deficiency. I would like to think they did.
Yes.
Good. We're on the same page.
We'd like
Anything else? Questions? Comments? Let's see. Anything else? I've got a vote no here. Anything else, advice, what you want done? Yes, sir.
I'd like to know your opinion on increasing the pay of city councilors.
To me, I don't care. I tried to turn down the $6,000 because it just is an irritant on my tax form. However, I'm serious about this. If we're going to try to get 35-year-old people, 40-year-old people serving on the council, we gotta pay them. Because I don't know how anybody, I couldn't have done, I was in the Air Force, I couldn't have done it. But I at 35, 30, yeah, I know it's hard for me to remember back that far, but when I was 30, 35 years old, 40 years old, I could not have served on a city council and earned a living and tried to help my wife raise the kids and done a reasonable job on the city council. So, we don't need to pay them $500,000, but at some point, we're gonna have to pay them
A
living.
professional salary.
Yeah, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000, but we gotta pay, I think, if we're serious about getting young people to be on the council, first we gotta get young people to vote. Vote, you gotta vote, if you don't like something, vote. That's right. But I think we're gonna have to look at seriously, because they can't serve, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
But for me, I don't wanna get paid. It's too much trouble.
I'm going to ask one last question and then we'll let you go. And this is a question I'd love to have the audience think about too. There are a number of us, Tony's been involved in this, who have been thinking that one way to improve turnout at city elections is to hold those elections in and off November. We know that other communities that do elections in November have larger turnout for population than we do,
Yeah.
and wondered if you care to think more about that.
It actually has been, a couple of council members have talked about that as a possibility. We need to go look at, we're gonna be, at some point, we're gonna review the charter, city charter. And as part of that, I think that the election process would be a good thing to talk about. And November might be a good time. There was a letter in the Gazette, letter to the editor in the Gazette, I think, yesterday morning. And the gentleman, even older than me, was talking about that one of the reasons the younger voters don't vote is because it's paper. That they want to do electronic voting. And he acknowledged that there's ID theft and security issues, but those can be worked out. And at some point, we're probably going to move to electronic voting. Probably not this year or next year or maybe even in my lifetime, but at some point we eventually will, I think, because it makes sense. And we can make sure the identity theft and the security is good. One observation on that, I'm an organization out at the academy that we did, the last 2 times we've had an election of the board, we did it electronically. And there was absolutely no difference in the percentage of voters that voted. And they complained that it was too short. Well, for 30 days, you could vote electronically. And we had no better percentage than we had with paper, and most of the people voted within the first 7 days.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just a trickle, 1 or 2. So, that's not the only answer. We've got to somehow motivate people to make them want to vote.
It has to be relevant to their lives somehow, they have to
But
be.
Dave, were you saying on an off November?
Yes.
Is that what you
Yes,
said?
off November, is what he said, yeah. And it's worth considering. I don't know what the ramifications are, but we can certainly look at it. It makes sense to look at it.
Well, I'm going to say thank you very much.
Well,
And I'm going to offer a little plug. I'll let you have the last word. I'm going to offer a little plug for the sponsor here. We have our Neighbor Up Week going on. This is what this talk is about, or part of, anyway. And we'd love to have you come to our Neighbor Up celebration Friday from 5:30 to 7:30 at Ivy Wild School. If you haven't been to Ivy Wild School, it's been repurposed. It's got a brewery and a restaurant and a bakery and all these sorts of things. We're gonna have a great time. We've actually got a concert pianist who's gonna provide us with some entertainment. He's also a composer. If anyone went to Xbox over the weekend, he composed the piece that had its world premiere there. I'm sorry to ask, because I can tell you that right now, no.
We're concerned
No,
that
it
it'll
wasn't.
expand up into a town.
Anyway, Ivy Wild School, 5:30 to 7:30, please come. And then we have Neighbor Up workshops and displays. We'll have a series of 9 different workshops. By the way, Dina Montier has been helping us organize this whole Neighbor Up event as part of her work
Is this
for
the first
Leadership by
year?
Speak.
Is this the first year of it?
This is the first year we've ever had Neighbor Up Week.
Okay.
So come Saturday too, because you're going to learn lots of things from 10 to 3. You'll have an opportunity to sit down with all sorts of, well, over 50, I think. Thank you, you're the one keeping track. We have over 50 displays that are scheduled. Most of those are nonprofits and government agencies. And there'll be a table where you can actually sit down and ask people a question, like, I'd like to figure out how to get the Broadmoor to keep from having its horses on the park property. We'll help you with that sort of thing. That's at the Regional Development Center. Yes, they did, but they don't have. Any other questions? It's on International Circle, off of Park View.
Part view or part side?
Okay, Larry. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming.
I'll just, we'll get it, we'll link it.
Okay, I know. Okay, well, that's good to know. They told me, see, I went to the friends of the because one of my husband's clients told us about this. Hey, how are you? I don't know how I missed it, but you know, they own the casino. Hey! Our biggest concern is because the Broadmoor is so big, so much money, they're just gonna bedazzle these guys. And we know how that goes, that's how mine goes. I mean, hello, it's not rocket science.
Good, I'll send you some.
Right?
You don't want to do that.